There's a new cereal in the neighborhood with O's and ghosts.
Tastes real good. Ghostbusters.
Marshmallow ghosts, fruit-flavored O's. Ghostbusters taste great with milk and juice and toast. A nutritious breakfast with the ghosts.
Ghostbusters.
Fruit-flavored O's.
Ghostbusters.
Marshmallow ghosts.
Ghostbusters.
Hey, what are you gonna crunch?
There they go again! And now Coca-Cola Classic wants you to get us ghosts too! They want you to become a Ghostbuster! They say you could win the Ghostbusters 2 Ectomobile! Just grab an entry form where Coca-Cola Classic is sold! We dare you to send it in! So become a Ghostbuster! See if we care!
Yeah, I did.
Like right underneath me, you know, and I see that, and so I can't help but when in this world the headlines read of those whose hearts are filled with greed, who rob and steal from those in need. To right this wrong with blinding speed goes underdog, speed of lightning, power of thunder, fighting all who rob or plunder. Underdog, underdog.
It's that look. It's that look right there. That look like test me, mother. Yeah.
And then there's a little old lady.
Knives for sale.
Boy, do I have a surprise for you.
Was an abrupt ending, but yes, there it is. Talk Hard is here. Let's go. Tuesday. It's all about talking hard, and this week will be about Ghostbusters. Hail to all of you out there. Hopefully you're having a great week and things are going well for you. Loki, my friend, it's great to be in the house, man. What's going on?
Not much. I'm here.
It's great to see the studio getting redone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got some. Yeah, we're ready.
The goodies are in line of sight. I like it. Ironcaster, my friend, what's going on with you?
Well, I was in a rush. I didn't think I was gonna be able to make it here today because, guys, you have no idea how hard it is in 2024 to find Ecto Cooler.
No, you didn't. No.
Sadly, no.
No, I didn't think so. No. To hell with Ecto Cooler. No. You remember Pops? Do you remember when we used to get juice in the metal, like you had to open them with the damn can opener, right?
Yeah, it was like a big giant tin can. So it's like a soup can, but they were like a half gallon. Yeah.
Like a half gallon of juice. I drank like 3 of those in a day of Ecto Cooler. I was sick. I was sick for a while. No, never again. No Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, there was some crazy Ghostbusters stuff that they done over the years. Some things have aged. I wish Troy had made. I don't know where Troy is. He's supposed to be joining us, but in the meantime, we'll get to chat. Welcome everybody in here, and we will talk about more crazy Ecto stuff. And yes, as Ironcaster pointed out in our private chat, that Ghostbusters brings back memories of how they still call things classic Coke. Hail to Nerd Porio. He's in the house. Hopefully you're doing well, brother. Great to see you. Penny. Good to see you, Penny. Dwayne is here. Hopefully you're doing well, brother. Great to see you out there. You never got it, Dana. I'm the man. I'm sensitive. I need to feel loved. I need to be desired. It was when you started introducing me as the old ball and chain. That's when I left. Women don't like it when I call them the old ball and chain. Trust me, I've tried. Yeah, I got to use that 5 free membership things it lets you do. So I threw out 5 more. So they went to Anonymous, Sean, Daryl, Jay, and Copa. So great to keep everybody connected through the membership program the best I can. And yeah, thank you for that, folks. Awesome. See, I remember the pudding in the pull top can. Oh man, yeah, for sure. And he's given some love for the cereal. I don't have any positive memories of the cereal. The cereal basically was just like every other cereal that just turns your milk the color of the dye that's in the cereal. I don't think there's anything special about it or good or bad about it. It was just that's what it did. So yeah.
Well, see that unfortunately, like some of the things like the cereal nut were kind of really before my time. Like I was born in '89. Ghostbusters 2 was coming out the year I was born. So all that merchandising for me was just non-existent, except the Ecto Cooler. That was the only element that like that thing kept around from the 90s. Like I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. There's still like slime around the Ecto Cooler packs in the stores. Like, so I grew up with just that was probably one of the most the things I most prominently remember from the
Ecto Cooler. High C Ecto Cooler.
I drank.
You guys hold down the fort for a minute. I'm going to restart my computer. I'm roboting. I'm hearing you guys roboting, so I'm going to start my computer and come back. So if you guys keep on going. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to restart and I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, so then I guess Ghostbusters, huh? No, but you know, it's crazy that this has gone on to be one of the in a way most probably I would say arguably maybe the most iconic 80s franchise of them all.
Got to be one of them. Yeah.
It's certainly in the running, and you can make an argument for it. Whereas most of everything else is like, you know, 3 movie series. This managed to swing it out with 2 plus a cartoon that kept it around for years. And it's its own little thing. All right, so I guess really we should probably start with the obvious question, like which Ghostbuster did you identify with, Loki?
I don't know. As a kid, Spengler. As an adult, Bankman. Maybe Ray. I don't know. Loki, but why aren't you saying something about Winston? Because I'm an Iston Oweniati probably. I don't know. I'm just, you know, smoking. Maybe the dead are rising from the grave. Maybe that is more me. I don't know. But
I can see it.
I don't know. There's aspects everywhere. You know what I wanted? I really wanted to see what it would have been like if we would have got a John Belushi Bankman. I mean, that's what the part was written for. Was originally John Belushi as Bankman. So what would have we got if we got an Eddie Murphy Spengler? That's originally what the part was written for. Was Eddie Murphy was supposed to be Spengler. It wasn't until Ivan Reitman came in that he was like, no, I want Harold Ramey. And they kind of rewrote a little bit of it for Harold Ramey. But I mean, crap, there's 2 people right there that would have drastically changed the movie. John Candy as Lewis. That's, you know, a German Lewis with 2 great bands that he loved and he rubbed on the chest. Yes. What a crazy idea.
Well, it wasn't didn't they use John Belushi to sort of base Slimer on?
Yes. But Slimer was created before he died. So they'd already had this like idea, this onion-headed ghost before he passed away. So he was already going to be in the movie. They just made him more John Belushi. Welcome back, Pops.
Well, yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. I haven't. I don't. You guys would let me know if I was the issue, but I don't think I am too much. But yeah, a perfect storm of casting and things working out. Like it just really worked out, right? Because John Candy was the Rick Moranis character. There's just so many things that in hindsight you're like, gosh, that would not have worked, and it works so good the way it is. And I do kind of agree with you, Loki, where the identify with a character kind of evolves over time. You know, I personally love Winston because of the Twinkie stuff and just the silly Twinkie. Yeah, the Twinkie. That's talking about Twinkie, and it's like
about Twinkie.
I don't know. There's the awe of it all. Like he is kind of the audience in this process because you're like he's always in awe of the tech and the ghosts, and you know this stuff will scare you white. Like, yeah, brother, that is you're absolutely right. This was real stuff. You'd be freaking out of your mind. It seems cool in a movie, but not in real life. So. I'll try to catch up on some of you guys here. So yeah, Nerpurio's taking a stab at making some ecto cooler. So all right,
I guess a couple of the little kind of fan division Ghostbusters squads that they've cracked the recipe for it, and I think you might even be able to get it from them.
I'm not. Yeah, that's not going to be the next Padawan challenge in my opinion. You can have that as the IRONCASTER Iron Man game or something. I don't know, bro. That's not for me.
It's the Iron Gut Challenge.
Maybe. No. DJ Ronnie G is here. Hail to you, brother. Great to see you, my friend. Awesome. And yeah, DJ says, I regret not keeping a few when I had them. Yeah, there's some fun stuff that they had. They were green Twinkies at one point. I don't think they've aged well, but does busting make you feel good? It makes me feel good. Makes me feel good. And there you go. Some Winston love. Yeah. The cartoon really kept things going. I think so. I mean, people were really down with the real Ghostbusters in particular. And Winston was the everyman. Yeah.
Well, I mean, sort of the big issue there was that it took the franchise and really kind of gave it that more kid-oriented slant. Because you go from that first movie where it is it has its more adult jokes in there with where Ray gets laid by a ghost.
Yeah, but it was a kid movie. It was a PG movie. This was the whole family's going to go see this movie. I mean, that's pretty much the way it was they kept it PG so that everybody could go and see it. That was a big thing with Columbia was they wanted everybody to go see it. They did not want a 13 or a hard R at all in any way, shape, or form. They wanted everybody to be able to go and see this.
Yeah, it was definitely the thing where studios definitely had in mind of not alienating an audience, but also not trying to sacrifice the content. And they just told the guys, like, look, you guys are familiar with the rules. You understand that they're all SNL people. They all knew how to navigate. Harold Ramis is a genius of being a great balance against, the Aykroyd brainstorm ideas and things like that. And then Ivan Reitman just was like an anchor, man. He just knew how to bring it all together, and the execution is just fantastic. So I got to be honest, I've tried to watch most of the real Ghostbusters, and there's just too much Slimer for me. I just think it really takes away from the show and the appeal for me. I get it because it's supposed to be like for the 7-year-old, the 5 to 8-year-olds or whatever, but he saves the day too much. Like it's just he's too relevant for me, but it definitely worked. And I got to be honest, and those toys were freaking cool. Give me some love out there in chat, you guys. Those toys were cool. Those are top notch toys. They were cool.
You want Egon with his eye popping out of his head.
Oh, there were some good toys. There was really some good toys. So, yeah, they were talking about Belushi. So, yeah, he is Slimer for sure. And if there's a steady paycheck in it, I believe anything you say. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. I feel Winston in that in some ways. So, the cartoon was the first thing he saw, and then Slimer is Bluto. Yeah, for sure. Cannoli's in the house. Bustin' makes him feel good. There we go. Yeah. Let's see. There's Invisible Man references, which is what you were talking about, IRONCASTER. Chris Bergia, there he is. How you doing, brother? Great to see you, my friend. And more cannoli comments. So, yeah, things are going great here. We'll keep on rolling. And a Slimer Ironcaster. I'm surprised there's not a Slimer Ironcaster, but now I can feel Chris working behind the scenes. So we'll see. We'll have a new emoji maybe. We got to wrap up a few more members. We can have more emojis, and we'll have a slime caster. Right?
There
Slime
it is.
caster.
There it is.
There it is. Slime casters. At least I have my Ghostbusters Firehouse. Oh, so DJ Ryan, you put in chat. Do you have the I think it's a DVD set, right? It's not a Blu-ray set that comes in the Firehouse, because that's a really hard one to get. And I'm disappointed that I think it's only DVD, because I was looking for the right set to buy to make a major scale up with what I own, and I saw that one, but I think it's their DVDs. So, Nerf pellet, yeah, there are some cool toys. There are also some crappy toys. We've done a couple videos on those. There's also a really terrible game. I did a short on this on my channel where they didn't do a little ghost and a little trap. They're like the Annie Potts glasses and stuff. They're just these really horrible little tokens and stuff. So there's a lot of hits and misses with the old Ghostbusters. But 40 years later, guys, we're still talking about it. So,
before they came out, I don't know if anybody remembers Super Soakers.
Yeah.
Right? Before they came out with Super Soakers, they had a slime gun that from Ghostbusters 2 that you could get. That was basically like a prototype Super Soaker. It was before the Super Soaker, but it was a Ghostbusters 2 Slimer, and you just you put this pink stuff in the water, and it shot out pink like what they did in the slime gun in Ghostbusters 2.
Okay. DJ Ryan G says it's a literal toy, so it's almost like a Castle Grayskull kind of thing, because it's the size of a desktop kind of thing. So I don't remember seeing that. That's pretty cool. So all right, so let's kind of go through where we're at, because obviously I don't think there's really any shortage of love for Ghostbusters 40 years later. The question comes down to, I'll start with you, Loki. Where are your thoughts on Ghostbusters 2?
Not as good as 1, but it's still better than everything else. So
okay,
it's good. I liked it. The Beagle! You are nothing but flies to him.
Okay.
I liked it. It was good.
Better than Afterlife.
Better than Afterlife.
Better than Afterlife. Okay.
I like Afterlife. Better than it's. I don't know. They've gotten worse. That's all they've done is gotten worse, which usually is the sequel trope of, well, you did 1 and now everything else after that's kind of gotten worse and worse and worse. So
Ironcaster, what about you with
2 still up there? Go ahead.
Ironcaster with Ghostbusters 2 and Afterlife. How do you feel about the?
So, would you believe me if I told you that Ghostbusters 2 is my favorite?
Somehow, I'm really not that surprised. I got to be honest. I don't know why that could be your favorite. So you're gonna tell us on why on earth you think that would be your favorite.
Okay, so in part of growing up, I had cable at the house growing up, and so Comedy Central would always play of all the movies Ghostbusters 2. So I got to watch Ghostbusters 2 a lot growing up. It's the one I've seen the most. I gravitate towards it. And yeah, like Loki said, come on, it's Vigo.
Vigo. Come on, my lord.
All right. Okay. So I will be the odd man in chat. You guys can just hate on me. I can't stand Ghostbusters 2. I hate the concept of the evil slime, and the solution is good slime that makes the Statue of Liberty walk. I just can't do it. Yeah. I know. Alligator Loki's attack.
It's coming for you.
Pops. I know. It's okay. It's okay. Look, it's not the worst movie ever or anything like that. So, I mean, I'm not trying to throw it out, baby out with bathwater, but I just don't rewatch it. I actually enjoyed Afterlife. It's a pleasant film. It's the best way for me to describe it. It's sort of like this Midland film. I enjoy rewatching it. And I think the problem is the expectation and living through Ghostbusters to Ghostbusters 2. It was such a massive collapse in quality compared to the first one. And again, the whole slime issue that I just discussed. It's kind of like a bad taste in my mouth. It's not as bad as Highlander 2 and that kind of experience, but it was a negative experience. And maybe that's part of the problem. I don't even own it digitally. So that's part of the reason I don't rewatch it. I only have physical copies. So it's just a different kind of thing. Whereas Afterlife is just sort of become noise now, where it can just be on, and I don't hate it being on, and I don't totally hate on the film. And I definitely could bash it. I get it. Frozen Empire is a completely different catastrophe. So we'll get, and we're not even talking about the alternate universe film. Can we just leave that off the table? It's something else that happened in some other universe. It doesn't exist in this universe. Okay.
Well, you see, folks, the truth is, Pops can't handle the power of Patty.
I just can't.
The power of Patty.
I don't even know what he's talking about. Is that the character, the Melissa McCarthy character or something?
No, that's the Leslie Jones one.
Oh, that's even worse. Okay, fair enough.
Yes, he wasn't Ghostbusters material.
I don't even
smack you.
There's so little
that is okay. That movie, I remember for like basically 3 things. I remember that line, "The power of Patty compels you," and she's like beating the snot out of Melissa McCarthy, which I am all for, by the way. I remember
that.
The movie gave me one laugh, and it was a Chris Hemsworth line where he's doing he's doing like the publicity photos, and he's like, which one of these makes me look smarter, me talking to the saxophone or me listening to the saxophone?
Yeah, so I took some heat because I said the only person that acted in this movie was Chris Hemsworth. Like literally the only person that actually like had to perform and actually act. Everyone else just showed up from their crappy SNL skits, and it was all thrown against the wall, and it's absolute garbage. But let's get back on topic. DJ Ronnie G is clarifying too that firehouse was announced for those action figures to slide down the pole from the top floor of the garage. That is so freaking cool. Super Soaker 50. All right. Good. Command me, Lord. Oh, the Vigo thing. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, I couldn't stand it.
We got a problem we got a problem on Pier 34. They say the Titanic just came in.
Yeah, we're going to get to Frozen Empire in a second, a little bit here. So, the 2013 game is canon. I hear positive things about most of the games. So let's pause there for gaming talk. Okay, talk about the games, guys. Where you come down on some of the games. I always hear good things.
Should we start off with the notoriously terrible like NES ones?
No. The NES one is based off the MSX game. So the MSX game came out, and then they ported that over to NES.
Oh, was it bad port of a bad game?
Bad port of a bad game, but it was fun. Loki, how do you know about the MSX shit? Well, I played Metal Gear on the MSX, so of course I'm gonna play other games. That included Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters on MSX, and
that's all you get for loop.
But it looked better. It looked better on that. It was still weird, but it looked better on that. But you got to go with what they had to work with back then. It was a totally different game. So
it always seemed like a fun concept for a game. Like that's the one area of merch and growth of the IP that always seemed appropriate. And I never have heard that it got because Nerpoil is referencing the 2013 version. So I don't know, did it level itself up to make a worthy showing as a game at that point or not?
They had the voice cast back. So they got the voice cast. It was officially labeled at the time, this is the third movie. You've got the rookie that come in. You play the rookie of the team. The team's all there. They're all doing their thing. The whole cast is there. Everybody came back for it. That was their okay, you know what? We're not going to do a movie, but we'll do this game. And they did it. And it was pretty good.
Okay.
They did a slime DLC or some crap where they pulled out the slime guns and all that terrible crap. But it was pretty good for the most part.
As a franchise goes, Ghostbusters was popular enough to follow the trend of so many 80s titles as well, and it got an RPG that has done has been fairly popular in its own right as well.
Oh, I'd love to see those books. So if somebody has those books, send me a couple photos. I'd love to see what those look like. I love the fact that they'd have such great original art for those kinds of things. That'd be kind of cool to see that. So, Ghostbuster 2 still getting some love. Nerpoil, it's a VHS nut. So yeah, you played the heck out of that. So yeah, I got you. I got you. Look at the landmines to the face. Here it comes. Super Soaker 50. Yep, everybody's got them. They're loading them up, man. It's good. There's some more of that. And Pops hates Jackie Wilson music too. Yeah. Garden host, say hello to my little friend. Yes. Okay. Oh man, Scott Westbrook, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for that $5 super sticker. All right, brother. Thank you so much. That is so good. It says keep it up. I appreciate you, man. You've always been a supporter and a friend and all this. And I really wish we got Scott. If you could email me, I think you have my email. Email me a date and time where we can just hang out. I'll just plan to do something with just you because you've been supporting me for so long and we've never had a chance to stream together or talk about something in particular. Your call, man. You email me and let me know. We'll figure something out, man. That's super great. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you, my friend. Appreciate it. When I first watched G2 way back then, I didn't like it. However, thanks 2016 found new. So yeah, Chris, that's kind of where I'm at. Look, I'm not about trying to pile on Ghostbusters 2 like Highlander 2. I don't mind watching Ghostbusters 2, but I'm being honest that I don't find myself rewatching it. And when Mrs. Pops and I are discussing things, it's like, well, I watch Ghostbusters. She never goes, how about Ghostbusters 2? And most of the time, if she were to say that, I'll be like, oh, we don't own it digitally. I got to get the copy. She'd be like, never mind. I don't want to see it that bad. And I'm also like, I don't want to see it that bad either. But if it was on, and I just didn't get to watch it for this show, I wanted to do a rewatch of it. So I'll probably do that in the next few weeks, is to get Ghostbusters 2 in the turn and give it a better rewatch and see. The biggest thing for me is I remember then and I remember now. It's a concept issue. It's not about Vigo. It's not about the scenes and some of the cheesiness that people make fun of. It's the concept of bad slime, good slime, Statue of Liberty, cheesy pop music. It's like, oh, come on, Ghostbusters. But
come on, you had to go and have we had to go and have the Statue of Liberty be the big hero to save the day, and then we got to make a joke about like giving her some big sneakers.
Yeah. There you go. 54 Activision game, Commodore 64, based on the first Ghostbusters movie. Yeah, I knew. Right. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, Activision. Yeah. He meant 84. Yeah, 84 Activision game. Yeah. Commodore 64. Got it. So, all right. So when I get to Afterlife, here's the thing. They did a good job of giving me an adventure story that feels like I'm in the right universe. It makes enough sense for me that I can enjoy watching it. It is full of like ridiculous contrivances. Obviously, the way the old Ghostbusters show up at the right place, the right time, at the exact moment with their uniforms and all their equipment. Oh, what's he got? Hold on.
Oh, that is Tobin's spirit.
Oh, you have Spirit Guide. Oh, cool. Very
This
cool.
is the official Ghostbusters Tobin Spirit Guide.
Those things are cool. Yeah, my daughter has one of those. She has that, and she has the Beetlejuice, the handbook for the recently deceased. Yeah. Yeah, she's got that one too. Yeah, they're cool. But see, that's where the
cabbie.
Oh man, some of the art's freaking great.
That is sick. I love it.
So that's the cab driver from the first one. When the guy gets in the car and he's like, I need to go to LaGuardia.
Great scene. Great shot. Beautiful.
You said you want to see the book. So if you got a book, show the book. So there's your Slimer.
That is the scariest I've ever seen Slimer.
Yeah, he's by far exaggerated in some of his concept art and stuff. And then rather than him becoming the cheeky, kind of like a baby Yoda for its time, it's like he become this cheeky, silly thing for kids, still stuffed animals and squeaky toys and stuff. So here's where they get into their actual
brothers.
Oh yeah, I like that part actually in the other movie.
I gave him the chair. Ray's girlfriend.
Yep.
Dream Ghost, the Phantom Jogger.
Let's see what else we got. Animal spirits, poltergeist, elemental spirits.
Okay. Look, you find some more images. We'll pull them up. Ironcaster, do you want to tell everybody how you didn't get to Frozen Empire yet? Because it's okay, you haven't. Just let everybody know that you haven't seen it yet.
So I did try to get it in this weekend, but like every time I tried to go sneak away to go catch it, like fates conspired against me. I've had work deciding that they wanted a ton of overtime. Had a bunch of overtime they wanted on me, and that is a lovely
demon dogs.
Zool, yeah.
Zool,
Keymaster, the gatekeeper.
So okay, listen. But Loki, you saw Frozen Empire, right?
Yeah.
And this one, I really wanted to have Troy here because he kind of had a much softer. He's sort of in the middle. He didn't like the film, but he didn't hate the film as much as I did. So
I
it's
didn't
not like
hate it, but I didn't like it either.
So look, I think we talked
It's
about
like
it
a
briefly.
2-hour waste of time.
Yeah, because
Really.
nothing actually happens that matters. And what I mean by this is in Frozen Empire, like none of the story arcs actually finish going on. Like just they start doing things that don't really matter. Oh man, the concept art is so good in some of this stuff, man.
That's Eon Shandor, the guy who created the hotel, the building where Zool and Dana Barrett lived.
So if I were pitching right now, man, if I could get a hold of the Skybound people who are doing all this Transformer stuff and the stuff that people like Titan Comics is doing, just get a hold of the Ghostbusters IP, man, and start doing some stuff like that, man. Go bonkers.
So, I do. Oh,
wait 1 second. We'll get to this one.
Tiamat. You never see her in a movie, but
I don't think it made it to the movies, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good, though.
I love it. I gotta use that concept. So I found a couple of the covers for some of the other RPG supplements, and one or two of these really popped out at me. Like they did a Halloween adventure. I thought was just kind of a really cool concept with like all the decorations getting possessed, and it's got that kind of Actually, this is West End Games, so this is sort of the same sort of art design that they would have done for a lot of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons books. As well as one that I thought was kind of a fun one just to show as well. Of course, we got to have Ghostbusters 2: The Avenger, and you bet your butt, boy, if that doesn't sell you on an adventure, I don't know what will. Look at his smile.
I don't know, man. I'm just going to leave it for you, Ironcaster, to have the love and defend that movie. I can't get there. But here's what I can do. I can save you some time with Frozen Empire because I did a review, but there's a link you can go to my channel and there's a playlist there as well. So I did kind of like more of a dive deep with a Common Idiot over on Matt's channel. And really because we both had the same thought. We really thought they were going to do this movie as kind of a finish off of the real Ghostbusters, sort of a transition of the new Ghostbusters. And then we would have a third movie, which they would become officially take the mantle, right? And it's like you set up, the new Brainiac and the new King Nerd and some comic relief with Paul Rudd, and there's a mom because they're young, and then okay, fine. And then in this movie, all they did was add 2 new characters, and both those characters are the key to winning, not the Ghostbusters. It's so, the villain doesn't exist outside the ball for what, maybe 10 minutes, Loki, maybe, if that.
About that.
This movie is a mess, and I say that anyone who loved it, I'm happy you had a good time. I challenge you when it comes out and it's streaming to spend some time and ask yourself, what is the point from the beginning and the end of the movie for any character? Like, do they change? Because they try to make things look like they matter, but at the end of the day, nothing really matters. And I was so incredibly disappointed by it. And I was really kind of bored. The first hour of the movie, just there's so little to anything actually happening. So
you know what you're getting? You're getting a lot of people that are going out of their way to say something is great when it's not in your face, overtly woke.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I found that with Fallout. I mean, I don't see how people are watching Fallout without being like, okay, this is janky and that's janky. Oh my God, it's the bestest ever, and I had such a good time with it. And it's not this or that at all. That last episode is nothing but woke. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what people are smoking. I don't know what they're smoking. I don't know what edibles they're eating. But it's like just because they polished it up real nice doesn't mean it's still not a turd.
Agreed. Ironcaster, you've talked about this. Like, they've saturated the market with so much terrible entertainment that you almost feel like the stuff that's just like a C at best is being praised at like an 80%. Like 80% of people are like, oh, it's so good. And you're like, this is just not good. And it's not going to hold up at all.
I mean, the thing that comes to mind is sort of the idea of the prisoner who just got out and that first meal out in the freedom. It is the best meal they've ever had. It's like,
oh, all right. I like your analogy.
Once we've gone through and we've gotten through all these, the hazing rituals of being told we're awful for the crime of existing and being alive, and then we come through and here's just this movie where it's like, this isn't trying to like tell me I'm better off being not alive. This doesn't want me to like give up all my possessions to people who hate me. This doesn't want me to.
All right. I love your analogy, because I'm going to give you a real life example of this analogy. When I got COVID, because I didn't get COVID in the first couple years, I was working all this time, never had COVID. Then suddenly everybody goes back to real life. I finally got COVID, but I didn't get any respiratory syndrome. I had digestive problems, so I couldn't eat for almost 2 weeks. Basically, ate nothing. I was down to like maybe a couple hundred calories a day. It was terrible. So eventually, I did crash. I get sick, go to the hospital, whatever. I finally am able to eat. And then I'm like, I'm not going to admit they were trying to admit me, and I'm like, I'm not being admitted. I already tested negative. Now you're trying to tell me I should stay. I leave the hospital. Now I haven't been able to eat much of anything. I ate some hospital food, but I can't eat. I'm starving. We go to leave. Mrs. Pops takes me to McDonald's, supersized quarter-pounder cheese meal. And it was the best freaking meal on the planet. It's a freaking McDonald's meal. So all this content is COVID McDonald's. It's COVID McDonald's food. It's the best freaking meal you've ever had when you've had COVID and you haven't eaten for 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, you're like, it was freaking McDonald's. Who freaking cares? It's just crap. Let me get home and actually have some real food. Maybe make me some real food. And I think that's where these movies, and that is a really good analogy, because you're like, in the moment, it's like, oh, it's a good time. I had a good time watching Frozen Empire. If you can turn your brain off and not think about any of it. And then when you rewatch it, you're like, this isn't really good. And when they rewatch it again, you're like, I don't understand. And whenever Mahler does his thing, right? Because Mahler will do his thing, Loki, right? He'll do his 8 hours of EFAP. And Mahler will be praised as the genius because he's torn all this stuff apart in 8 hours, whatever. You and I are both saying the exact same thing. This isn't the worst movie in the history of movies. But there's no story hardly. This is a shoestring, duct tape remnants of like some other scripts. This is like 5 other scripts. Just this is all that's left, is what was left. And for some reason, they shoehorn in more characters. it's a mess.
To kind of continue with that analogy, it's like, once you've gone and had that make COVID McDonald's, like, at first you're like, oh, that was the best thing ever. And then a couple hours go by and you're like, oh, I don't feel so good anymore. You start getting the indigestion. You start regretting it a little bit. You're starting like, oh no, that really wasn't all that good.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's because so to take the analogy to it, I get home and a couple hours later, Mrs. Pops makes me some real food. So I'm like, oh, now this is a good meal. Now it's something really good. I sit down and watch The Godfather. I sit down and watch Ghostbusters '84, right? I sit down and watch good stuff, right? And then I'm like, oh, I want to eat that again. All right, we're gonna drive through and have McDonald's. I'm like, oh God, this is terrible. I don't want this. This is awful. It's like it's like you go back to that, and you're like, oh, and that's what Frozen Empire is going to be. And I want to do this stream not only to say, hail to Ghostbusters '84, because Lord knows it still holds up and it's such a blast to watch, in my opinion. So, what do they do now? So go ahead, IRONCASTER.
Oh, I was going to ask, did you guys happen to pick up that Afterlife box set, the big fancy one that had like the 3 movies and all that? And
no.
And if not, do you feel like you missed out now on it at all?
No, I don't. I got my nice copy of Ghostbusters, and I'm good. And I have like a backup. I have I still have like the green box DVD set and things like that. So it's like I have physical copies of all this. I'm good shape, and I don't mind saying I like Afterlife and we'll rewatch it. But Frozen Empire is such a waste of my time. I don't even know, Loki, what is a good franchise film where it is like so pointless like this one was? Like if they did another Ghostbusters tomorrow, and then they actually have a story, it'll be like, why did Frozen Empire even exist? You just don't even need to watch it. Like it's so irrelevant to the characters. So I couldn't think of another example. Even Star Wars and stuff, it's more like a continuation of stories. But I was thinking about like, you could just skip this whole movie. Oh, how about this? I'm going to rag on Temple of Doom. You could just skip Temple of Doom and you really wouldn't miss anything. Temple of Doom doesn't change Indiana Jones because it's supposed to take place before Raiders. So if people have never seen it, now I love Temple of Doom. I'm not trying to throw Temple of Doom and make a comparison. It's bad as Frozen Empire. It's not. It's good. It's a good movie. But it's like you don't have to have watched any of the Indiana Jones movie to enjoy them. And the fact that they came out and it's like at the time it was kind of odd. We didn't know it was a prequel. But Frozen Empire is so irrelevant to the characters. I don't even know why. I guess you're really not missing anything if you never watch it. So
no, I mean I've seen all three. Loki, you okay?
No, yeah, I was answering Pops and
it didn't come through.
Yeah,
that was weird. Yeah.
So I was just saying that with the Indiana Jones trilogy, technically you can watch any of the movies by themselves and never see the other ones, and you're good. Even Last Crusade. Go and watch Last Crusade. You don't really have to watch you don't have to watch Raiders. You don't have to watch Temple of Doom. Watch Temple. You don't have to watch Raiders. You don't have to watch Last Crusade. Same thing with Raiders. You don't have to watch either of the other two movies to get a full movie out of it.
I agree.
I think that's the difference is you can't go into Frozen Empire and watch Frozen Empire on its own without ever seeing anything else and know what the hell's going on. You can't appreciate it. You need the other movies to appreciate what the hell and who these people are. There is no like Winston character in Frozen Empire that brings you in and goes, okay, I'm here for you because I'm going to have them explain shit to me like I'm you. They never do that. There is no character like that. There is no Winston character to come in and explain shit to. So you have no idea. If you didn't watch Afterlife, you have no idea who the hell these people are. If you never watched the original Ghostbusters, you have no appreciation of who they are. So there's no single watch for Afterlife or for Frozen Empire. You've got to watch the other movies to kind of appreciate those movies.
To even give Frozen Empire a chance to even follow, like, what are we doing and why are we doing it? But then they don't really even explain it as they go along. They contradict themselves. So yeah, I agree. All right, Caster, what were you going to try to say?
Oh no, I think I was just something to the extent of I think I've only seen Temple of Doom like one time.
Oh, we're going to get to Temple of Doom this year, so just you hang tight. We're going to make you watch it again. It's going to be fun. It's an anniversary of that too. Yes, Kalima. Movie's a crazy movie. Anyway, okay, so where does this franchise go? Like, so there's a hot take. I told Ironcaster, and I don't know if I told Loki or not. So like Flaccid Phoenix, for instance, but there's a hot take. This is possibly the most overrated of the IPs because it's really got one great movie. We'll say a couple of, I'm going to go ahead and say the good movies. We're just going to call Ghostbusters 2 and Afterlife good movies. And then we got Frozen Empire and then, okay. But it's got a good cartoon. But I think it's got this massive cosplay following, this massive sort of fandom of different types of merch and things like that. I think it just lends itself to having cool props and cosplay and things like that. But does that make it one of the most overrated of the IPs? Because really, that's all birthed out of not a lot of. It's not like a volume of success things like that. Now, I admit when you get into things like you're saying with the Tobin Spirit Guide or the tabletop games, like that, that's even cooler because it's kind of birthed out of that. But you're talking about like one movie here and one TV show and things like that. I don't know. What do you think, Ironcaster? I do kind of get where that person's coming from.
So my theory for what should have been done and where I feel like this franchise should have gone. I mean, yeah, I think that probably it's better off kind of let it go be comics. Let them just go have kind of adventures where they hunt ghosts. That's probably the best to leave it at. But if you want to be able to continue to make movies with this, I feel like the best bet was to go and get away from the memorable location of New York. I think my idea I've had was that they probably should have gone ahead and give them their own, either keep in the Midwest, which, yeah, you could maybe argue there's not a ton of ghosts to bust out there, or instead give them a different big city. I personally think LA would have been a good choice for that because then you could kind of play up and kind of spoof on Hollywood a bit. I mean, how great would it be to see like some of the like Hollywood's golden age, like actors and directors in this as these these larger than life ghosts to kind of show up and haunt Hollywood.
Well,
Like,
you've got murders too. So you've got what's that one that happened in the 50s? The
Black Dahlia.
Black Dahlia. You've got all kinds of shit that they could have done that. Yeah, but I mean, New York's the thing, and they did that in Afterlife. They took it away from New York. They brought it away from New York, and then
they explained that, but they do well. They did a good job of explaining why it's not in New York. So I didn't hate the fact that it was somewhere else for Afterlife.
Yeah,
I like Ironcaster's idea, Loki, because you could have Adventure of the Week, Ghost of the Week. Like it'd be kind of cool to have them busting ghosts down in New Orleans, and then they got to go on the road again. Because I'm watching this show. I'm going to do another video. I did a little video on Tracker. It's just a little cheesy CBS Paramount show. It's just a very Murder She Wrote Adventure of the Week kind of show. It's very safe and clean. It's fine. It's a very serviceable show. Ghostbusters could have easily have done it, but I think the problem is all their cast are too big for their britches, right? You know, the Stranger Things kid and Paul Rudd, they're not going to resign themselves to do TV. But this could have worked if the Afterlife sequel was actually a TV show and it was like Ghostbusters of the Week, right? Loki, we could just you and I probably could just do a little bit of research. Oh man, a Adega, we could just do a whole show of like a Ghostbusters TV show of like, here's the next 20 ghosts they're going to go busting with Ironcaster's guidance about how to put them in order around the map. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, look at what they did with the first couple of seasons of the Supernatural. They pretty
much
did
yeah. Good parallel. Yeah.
The Supernatural for the first couple of seasons until they went off on that weird angel shit.
Yeah, I mean, you could even do an idea where like every season is just a totally different team altogether with different locations. So the first, as like each season is its own team popping up in a major city where just spooky stuff happens. Like, could you imagine one down in like Louisiana dealing with all the like the swamp bayou and the hoodoo magic stuff? I think that's a great potential for some stuff. You get into some of the Haitian zombies.
Oh, there's an endless concept if you just want to sit around and brain. So we could do a Jimmy Hoffa ghost because where's Jimmy Hoffa? You could do this I mean, there's just so many things that you could do with this. But
we could do something in Chicago and have like the ghost of Al Capone show up.
Yeah. So where is the franchise then? Because this movie's a bust, right? It's a complete failure financially. It's just, I mean, it's at I think the last I checked, it went over 150 million, but it's not going to it's going to limp towards 200. It's not. There might be some merch and things like that. They can look at it as a success in that way because there's a good margin on some of that kind of stuff. But it's a mess. But at the same time, is it dead? Do we get a third movie? What do you guys think? I actually think if they're all under contract, the budgets for these things have really not been exorbitant. So it is possible that you just do a third movie because at the end of the day, I think, Loki, you'd agree, First Empire really doesn't matter. So it's not that it's the worst movie ever. It just didn't do anything to help your cause.
Didn't. It really didn't. And, with the way failures are today, it's a failure. So really didn't go anywhere. Didn't make them any money. That's what they want. They want to make money. So if you're wanting to make money, this is not the way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from the fallout of where we are with things. And I know there's a lot of just really big Ghostbuster fans who have to be feeling like, what on earth has happened? Like, how did I end up here where I just can't get anything decent from these people? And I feel like the real Ghostbusters, it would have been so easy for me. I don't know. We could probably rewrite this movie in Frozen Empire. It's really not that hard to rewrite into a decent movie. And the key is the ending didn't go anywhere. Like it should have been that they have this research center where these trap ghosts, which should be real Ghostbuster ghosts, and then the power flickers and you see these things escape. You see the light, they're out, right? And it sets up another movie. And then you have this setting up of this team that coming together to be the Ghostbusters, but they didn't do that. You just have an amalgam of like 9 characters, and we don't know who's where and who's why, and we don't care. I don't care that Phoebe calls Paul Rudd dad for some reason, because I never got the impression that they're actually married. I don't understand what we're doing. So
Ironcaster, who the hell Phoebe wants to date?
Yeah, I don't even understand what we're doing.
The teen angst of I want to die so I can be with my ghost girlfriend.
Yeah.
Whoever thought that was a good idea.
Well, and so you have you have old Ghostbusters, we have new Ghostbusters, you have this no ghost concept, and your idea in the script was create teenage ghost girl and annoying firemaster as being more key to defeating the ghost than the actual Ghostbusters. So I don't understand why we did all this. Like 2/3 of defeating the big ghost is teen girl ghost and firemaster. So it's like you didn't do anything to help your cause with them coming together as a team to defeat the ghost. Like, why did we need these other characters? We didn't need them. Go ahead, IRONCASTER.
Well, hang on. Is it a case of she leads them to bust him or is it a case of basically she's the ghost who is the key to everything?
She is. She's the pawn used by the bad guy who realizes that she can be good at the end of the day and she can do something good that will redeem her and she can go on to metaphorical heaven, because they don't call it heaven, but metaphor. She can move on. Her spirit can move on. But it's just a complete waste of time. Like, none of this is relevant. Like, it's just, there's so much time wasted with Teenage Girl Ghost, Firemaster, and Patton Oswalt's characters, 8 minutes. We just didn't need any of that. It's just all a waste of time and could easily be restructured around Ray.
Oswald's in this.
Yeah, they go to the library for some reason instead of Ray's occult book, and we're supposed to be told that Patton Oswalt is a bigger nerd than Ray. It's so stupid. So, okay, so let's talk about the positive legacy of the Ghostbusters, right? Because we could even do the movie itself holds up so well. It's 40 years. Is there any affinity, IRONCASTER, sort of like your age group and younger, for this as a franchise and IP, though? Is it kind of like an old guy franchise?
I mean, I want to say that it'll always be there, but I was talking with a coworker who I got him to start going to check out some of like the Fathom events, and I think last year, the year before, they went and did an anniversary screening of Ghostbusters. And he was all psyched for it because he's like, "Oh my gosh, like it's Ghostbusters!" I like this guy. He never goes out to see anything. He gets there and he gets his popcorn and all that. He shows up. He's the only one in the theater.
Oh wow.
So as much as I want to say, like, yeah, no, it's in great hands. If this movie's performing like this, if we have kind of instances like that, I do have to wonder if there is going to be a long life for this, because these couple of little notes of these couple little data points are leading me to suggest like maybe not. Maybe it really is just like a movie with a diehard dedicated fan base, dedicated enough to go and like get cars and make up their own Ecto ones.
They'll take advantage of to squeeze every penny out of.
Yeah, it's still a cash cow for that diehard fandom. But I just don't know that fandom has legs past, I guess Loki's era. You're a few years behind me, so I guess it's like when you get down to, well, let's go a little bit younger, below 30. I'm just not sure there's a fandom that's going to carry that torch. Are they going to inherit, Ecto ones and backpacks from their parents or uncles, and that they'll be the ones that'll carry? I don't know. I just don't know. So, quotes from the Raven says that that's a supernatural love story because they love movies. That's the teenage ghost girl thing, the allusions to some sort of romantic thing. It was just really, really awkward. It was just really badly done. So, JMS wrote episodes for the that syndicated episode. Yeah, the real Ghostbusters stuff. So yes, look, I love some of the stuff. I just hate the fact that the studio made them make it so Slimer centric. I just can't stand. There's so much Slimer in some of these episodes, but they're not bad. I love some of them. I enjoy them for the most part with that caveat, but it's okay.
So Pops, let me ask you then, who's a better little sidekick character in this case, Slimer or Scrappy Doo?
Oh, Slimer's a better side. I mean, Scrappy is there to just be this weird, irritating little kid. I never have understood what the point, like who is Scrappy for? Like what is the point of Scrappy? Like he's because usually a sidekick or the young character or the token character is sort of like it has comic relief elements, it's to sell toys, or it's to talk to the kids so the kids can like Jubilee in X-Men was so everyone can have a reason to explain to Jubilee their powers or what's going on so the kids at home can keep up, right? So those hadn't read comic books, right? Slimer, he has to save the day too often for me. I don't remember Scrappy really saving the day. He's just the irritating little to me he's our little irritating neighbor kid across the street that was always just way too young for what he thought, and that's just so. All right, so this is Pat Dan. He's got Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and the remastered video game on PS4. That's his trilogy.
Yep.
So cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems to be a good consensus. And thanks, Pat Dan. Great to see you, man. Scrappy Doo is the proto Wesley Crusher. Well, that is a really good analogy. Wow. Look, what do you think about that? That's a really good analogy.
I don't know about that.
No?
I like Scrappy more than I like Wesley.
That is funny. That is funny. So
you mean Clobby's favorite character?
Baseball episode, Good versus Evil and Real Ghostbusters was a great cartoon, really deep. Though there is some really good stuff. Obviously, the Sandman's very classic. There's some stuff that's really good. So, hey, Mike's here. Good to see you. Comic Release Crusader. Good to see you, brother.
They had a was it the Charles Dickens episode? I remember where they had to go and like they wound up busting the three ghosts of Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
And they basically saved Scrooge.
And there were some really cool on point member berries. Like they literally have a motorcycle in Frozen Empire. Like Ray has the Ecto Seas, the little motorcycle. Actually, I was hoping it would fly, Loki. When were on the staircase of the library, I actually thought it was going to fly. But at that point, I was kind of getting bored with the movie anyway. So, yeah, JMS he was fired. He had to be brought back. Yeah, they panicked. They know what to do. Again, this is the ignorance of studios. So we talked about it last week with Transformers. Let's kill Optimus Prime. That's our big strategy. It's like Ghostbusters is this easy cartoon with this great writer and good stuff. It's like, no, you have to do more Slimer so we can sell more toys. It's like, well, or you can just sell all the toys. So, yeah. I think that my kids like Ghostbusters, but I don't feel like there is a frenzied appeal, like you said, Ironcaster. They're going to go to a Fathom event. I just don't see it. I see them like they like it. They wouldn't mind owning a copy. But I don't see them as becoming, anyway, that kind of fan. So
yeah, I think that's sort of the unfortunate reality.
Some Fallout love. All right, we're not talking about Fallout, but yeah, that's weird. Okay,
I think that's going to be sort of the legacy of Ghostbusters. It's just going to kind of fall off like so many other once great franchises have. How many people are going crazy for Dick Tracy?
Oh yeah. I don't think anyone knows who Dick Tracy predates me. Like the fact that they did the one movie, which was odd and quirky for its time. Like at the time, it was sort of like, yeah, it's kind of cool and odd and weird and whatever. Really haven't spent time to watch it.
You know, it's apparently had like 3 or 4 sequels technically.
So no, sure, I understand. And there's tons of material. There's tons of stuff out there in the Dick Tracy universe that it was really big to certain people, but yeah, I don't know, but I don't think they've done anything in Frozen Empire or Afterlife to make Ghostbusters cool for the kids. Like using the kids did not work at all, did it, Loki? Like it's different. It's different effect than Strangers. How did Stranger Things make those kids cool and these kids were not cool? And one kid's the same kid, but anyway.
They introduced the way they introduced them, the way they did the way they staggered everything. You related to those kids. If you grew up in that kind of environment, you immediately related to them. If you didn't, then over time you started to relate to them. There is none of that here. BBs, they expect you to know everything before you walk into this. And if you don't, well, what's the point? What's the point? Are you even going to go see it? Are you going to go see it because someone said it was good? Are you going to go see it? Are you not going to go see it because someone said it was bad? Can you not form your own opinion? It doesn't matter if you've seen any of the other movies because this movie doesn't make any sense anyway.
But even in Afterlife, Phoebe's not relatable. I mean, like, so in the opening sequence, remember, she's like hacking into the electrical socket on your wall, and you're like, I know genius kids, and they didn't do that. So, I mean, I think it's like they think they're clever doing these things to make kids relatable or to communicate something. But Stranger Things, like you said, was just so believable. You see yourself as all of these different kids in different ways, and it's such a big miss in the Ghostbusters franchise to try to go with younger kids, and that's like you just can't. I think podcasts can be somewhat relatable. It's like the Uber nerd who I can see podcasts being relatable in some ways, but none of the other three kids are really that relatable.
How much of that in Stranger Things are? I guess the question would be between the two. Like, did Stranger Things really have the kids running around with adults, or was it just kids being kids? And I think maybe that's the issue because like Ghostbusters wants to try to work in Paul Rudd to play Paul Rudd.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true. And the worst part is he's not the worst. The sad thing is he's not the worst part of this movie or the movie. That's kind of the problem. Like, if it was just Paul Rudd being Paul Rudd and that was the big problem, that would be one thing. But that's really not even the case. Like in the first movie, you feel like he's like the dorky geologist who just likes sciencey stuff, and take that and throw it completely out the window. Ironcaster and Frozen Empire. He does nothing sciencey in the second movie. He fiddles around with the containment unit and he drives the Ecto-1. He doesn't do anything that's relevant at all.
Oh, oh God. You could have put them in LA and dealing with like the fault line. And you could have had Paul Rudd in there doing stuff because he's the geologist, dealing with the.
They didn't.
No, they didn't think about that. They don't think about this. They don't throw ideas that make sense like that. So.
I hate this. Like we could have written a better Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, we could have rewritten this one, to be honest, and then go on the road. But Princess Leia Rose is here. Hey, lady, great to see you. Finally got that Dick Tracy walk made by Apple. Cool. Sometimes less is more. That is so true, especially when it comes to a franchise. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Corey's here. I don't like the idea of the kids and the family of Ghostbusters. I agree. It's definitely one of the worst elements that they came up with. I liked it in the concept of it's an easy passing of the baton. Like, you can make it work. And I think I would have liked it if they had moved it forward, where you're seeing Phoebe and Podcast and maybe the brother and Lucky. Just keep the four of them together in some way, shape, or form. Ray and Winston are running the show. Like, Ray, it's clear that Winston's got the money. Ray is the genius who's into the occult. They set it all up that would be the direction for this movie, and then they just drove all over the road and do it. They didn't execute on any of those things. So,
yep.
And the problem is you're trying to turn this into like a family thing with the Ghostbusters when we already have a show about a family who goes out and hunts the supernatural. It was called Supernatural.
Yeah. I mean, they're not all family, so it would have worked. It would have worked fine if we didn't keep it quite. And again, they didn't need to keep it like it was just 4-on-4 or whatever. They have 6 characters. Like, it was clear to me that the mother would have easily have been the Annie Potts character. There's literally a phone moment in the movie, and they don't even do it right. So even when they try to have moments that seem like they're putting the softball on the tee, they hit the tee. They don't know what they didn't do anything right in this movie. And I think that this. When the biggest buzz about Frozen Empire, where Ghostbusters is right now, is Loki, did you get the popcorn bucket or not? That's literally where we're at. It's so bad that the buzz right now is whether, Loki, you got the popcorn bucket. What does that say about your IP right now?
I didn't get the popcorn bucket. I got the Doom popcorn bucket. I didn't get the Ghostbuster popcorn bucket. I won't be getting the Wolverine or the Deadpool bucket either. I'm just not. It's not happening. Deadpool looks like he's ready to suck your thing off, and so does Wolverine. So I'm just not.
I think you've hit a merchandising low, and that's it. That's all people are talking about. And I think that before we did the show, Ironcaster showed me like a CinemaCon tease about a transforming Optimus Prime popcorn bucket.
Picture.
Oh, yeah, here we go. So if you haven't seen this is insane.
This popcorn bucket.
So this popcorn bucket is Optimus Prime who transforms. I don't even know what this is attached to, but I'm ready to go and see it because it's something that cool and different. Okay. The one on the right, which I assume that's Bumblebee, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a couple of like the little toppers for the cups. They do those.
That's serviceable, right? So if that's a reasonable price point, it can't be $100. You got a reasonable price point, but if it's a reasonable price point, that's a cool thing. But I guarantee you, whatever they're going to roll out, pun intended, they are going to have some cool addition toys. It seems like Transformers always kind of knows, milk the fans. Keep milking the fans. And right now, Transformers is among the hottest things for sure. I mean, there's any doubt in the world where like even more normie-driven comic readers are buying the latest issue. And if you're a fan of Soundwave, Transformers 7 is for you. Oh, so good. Oh,
and also Transformers 8. I was hoping I had something on hand, but I was gonna go and pull out the fact that I have basically the same Transformer toy like 3 or 4 times over because I got Starscream, I gotta have Thundercracker, I gotta have Skywarp.
Oh, Loki, he one upped you. That's so we're just Chris Persia.
Oh, he can't. No,
that's crazy. $39.99. Is that the price on that? $40 for the Transforming Optimus Prime bucket.
I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, that's about what I would have expected for it.
Probably more like $99.99.
Yeah, the G.I. Joe Transformers movie. Yeah.
So actually, what the movie that is being talked about is called Transformers 1, and it's effectively a prequel for the lead up for the basically events that happen and lead into the big war that starts the franchise.
Yeah. So, Ghostbusters, 40 years later, we are still talking about it. There are some movies to talk about, but where are you at, Loki, in the grand scheme of like your rewatchability of the movies and the games and the cartoon and all that? Does it kind of make your regular cycle yearly, or where do you think it is for you?
Probably like the first movie, probably once a year. It's been a little while since I've seen the second movie. I haven't seen Afterlife since shortly after it came out on digital or whatever. It's been a while. I know that. Even though I liked it, I haven't wanted to go back and watch it again. I haven't had this like desire or need to go back and watch it again. They left Afterlife with this like an ending, right? You had the Ghostbusters back together. You had all 4 of them. They might not all really all 4 been there, but they were for us. That's the way it felt. End it, or start something new. Do a TV series about whatever. Have Paul Rudd be on the first episode. Pay him a shitload of money. Be like, we want you on the first episode of this, and have him come in and kind of explain the way things are. Or have BB in the background doing some shit or something. There was no need to do Frozen Empire at all. And it's a pointless, worthless asterisk in the 4 movies. It's not as bad as 2016, but it's still there.
It is. So for me, the difference would be 2016 is just this cringy, bad, awful experience of a movie, if you want to call it a movie. And then this was just a pointless film. There's just I don't know that I want to liken it to Halo, but it feels just it's in this same vein of just complete waste of our time. Like there's just so little that actually happens that matters. Characters don't move from this place in their life to this new place for this journey or things like that. It just nothing happens. They don't really change. They don't really evolve. There's just not a lot of stuff that goes on. I don't know where you at. Because you haven't watched this new one. Do you watch the regular Ghostbusters much? You watch the cartoon? What does any of this stuff make your regular rotation?
I've relegated them to Halloween movies at this point. Like they kind of go on the shelf right alongside Halloween or Friday the 13th. That's kind of where they're at. There are ones that I got no problem showing to like my nephew when he gets a little older still, because they're gonna be like totally safe to go show to the family. I think they're gonna be good movies that are gonna get just into the regular rotation for the holidays. And of course, let us not forget the theme song that has become just a Halloween staple.
Yeah, sure. It's like a mind worm virus for sure. The song's everywhere. When it goes, you can't get it out of your head. And it was completely everywhere back then. You couldn't escape the songs back then. It was completely nuts.
Nope.
But it's already so it's already a novelty for you. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. That's kind of sad news, isn't it, Loki? It's already a novelty for Ironcaster. It's not even an IP that I think I agree with you. Like Loki, it's definitely once a year. I'm not opposed to other times of the year or second or whatever. I don't really watch the second one. I can't remember the last time I watched the second one. It's probably been a few years. Like I said, I'm not opposed to Afterlife. It's in the same vein of just, okay, it can be on. So I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite too, where I do love that first movie so much, but not to the point where I'm ready to like build an entire franchise around it and just kind of keep beating the same drum over and over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the reality of it. It's just I mean, you're watching it once a year. It's basically and everything shy of admitting it, you've kind of turned into just another Halloween movie, another Halloween holiday movie.
That's kind of an interesting take. Is Ghostbusters now just a Halloween holiday movie? That's interesting because like it's like the family one that is like among the staples. It's a little edgier, but not much. It's not cheeky for kids, but it's just a little bit above that. So yeah, that's an interesting take. And I'm glad we got there at that point because I didn't really think this through. And I also I'm actually kind of a little sad that the franchise actually was worse off, and that Afterlife didn't do itself any favors, and definitely not now. Like Frozen Empire is almost like a death knell for what to do next. And
well, the thing is though, it's not even because of that movie. It's just like that's where it's been for the last 15 years. I mean, since before the 2016 Abomination, like it's always just kind of been there. You cannot turn the radio on around October without hearing do 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 do.
That's true. Hey, Zax is in the house. Hey, brother.
It's just that's where it's been relegated by the IP holders, by kind of the greater society.
Maybe so. So do we agree that the best way to right the ship for this franchise would probably be a TV series? Seems like that's where we come down on the most. A comic that's a lot harder, like not necessarily rated R, but definitely a lot edgier, like what Loki was showing in Tobit's Spirit Guide. A comic book type series, and then a supernatural-esque type TV show.
Well, I think probably the best thing you could do for it is just let it have kind of an ongoing comic series that's able to do all that, and then maybe do the odd crossover. Like I believe under IDW they did a Transformers and Ghostbusters crossover. They've done the Ecto-1 as a Transformer.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Hell, they even decked Optimus Prime up as like in Ecto-1 colors. You give him a little Slimer and made the Autobot symbol the ghost.
Optimus Prime is cosplaying as Ecto-1, basically. I see what you did there. This is the cartoon. It's like it's just hard to catch lightning in the bottle. Yeah, I get it, and I think that is what we're saying. Like, it is hard, and maybe Ghostbusters '84 is so good. It's falsely, and because it's inspired so many people to cosplay and have an Ecto-1, cool gadgetry and all that, it's kind of falsely given the impression this IP is wider and deeper than it actually is. Maybe. And I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of in between. I'm a lot closer to that fence than I would have been if you had asked me like a year ago. And I think that in hindsight, I definitely see that, because I thought that the Stranger Things phenomenon was an easy thing to move this franchise forward as well, and yet it did not do that. And in fact, Frozen Empire is such a waste of time, that's a negative. People are going to associate waste of time with a negative now. People are not going to associate. They have too many things to do. You know what I mean? You don't have a lot of room for error like that. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it also came out at a point, and it's been kind of swept up into that larger group of all those 80s properties that all became these sort of mega franchises of their own. I mean, Transformers, G.I. Joe, those were all already there. They had all kinds of toys. This had toys. So it just kind of, it's sort of caught in the cultural waves of those and brought along to where people think all of these are sort of equal in terms of that IP consideration.
I see. I don't know. I see Transformers as being way ahead of these other IPs. I guess that would depend on what people would need to qualify that, but I would think Transformers has done, even if the movies have been terrible, some of them have pulled some really good box office numbers and created new waves of toys that have engaged kids that have followed our generation. Look at your generation, right? So it wouldn't shock you to find 10-year-olds who've been playing with Transformers because of the movies. That would make sense, right? There's no one there's no kid, there's no 10-year-old I know that's got an Ecto 1 2016 movie or Afterlife notwithstanding. They just don't care. I would be shocked if who bought those Lego sets or whatever. Like, it just, they're not.
If they bought that, or if that kid has that, it's because dad bought it for himself.
That's right.
Yeah. But
it's one of those toys where dad insists, no, honey, no, I swear, this is for the kid.
But I could see those same kids like wanting Transformers and Beast Wars Transformers and things like that. Not dad withstanding. Like, I'm going to ask my grandson when I see him, because he's 9. So I'm going to ask him when I see him where he comes down on Transformers and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Back to the Future, Transformers would be the two that we would include in that conversation in some way, shape, or Top Gun. Top Gun's still. Well, Top Gun's got like the movie franchise thing going because of the one movie, but I'm not sure that makes it into.
He's mentioning those because those have all had a Transformers toy crossover. The Top Gun fighter jet has had that. Back to the Future had the DeLorean. Ghostbusters had. All these have. I mean, heck, Jurassic Park's even had that too. Yep.
Interesting.
And Noah, also this year we're getting the Turtles van.
Okay. So, final thoughts, Loki. Where are you at on this? We've had kind of a conversation that kind of drove in a lot of different places. Like that. Any thoughts that kind of resonate with you, or you want to kind of stick back on the wall or highlight?
I think they've lost the narrative for this. I think they've lost who originally this was created for. This is, you know what? Let's grab the kids. They can get the crap scared out of them at a ghost movie, and we can laugh our butt off because we get the adult jokes. That's gone. They don't know who their audience is anymore. Because they don't know who their audience is anymore, they've lost the plot. And the plot is now lost on us because we're watching this movie going, okay, it's all right, but it's not like anything that I'm going to go back and I don't even give a shit about this movie. This movie's completely off my radar now. I have a long list of movies I will watch till the day I die. This is never going to be one of them. Even though the first one is. Second one is, even though I don't watch it as much as the first, I like the second one, not as much as the first one, but I do like it a lot. This, they've just lost it. They drove off the cliff with this. So, be interesting to see if they can get it back. If they come out with another movie, I'll watch it, but I'm not going to go pay to watch it. I'll say that. I'm not going to go and spend the money on popcorn, drink, night out when there's no point. I'm going to go on the 25th, which is in 9 days. I'm going to go and I'm going to see The Mummy. 25th anniversary of The Mummy in theaters. Yeah. I have no problem going and spending the money on the popcorn and the drinks and the snacks and the dinner or whatever we end up doing because it's a quality movie that I know I'm going to enjoy. I'll spend the money to go out and do that. I'm not going to spend the money on another Ghostbuster movie. Not until they show me they know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I think I've sold Mrs. Pops on doing that too, because I think we saw the original one together. So it's almost like the 20th anniversary of that date. You know what I mean? It's almost the 25th anniversary of us going to see that movie together. So Ironcaster, again, same thing. We had a lot of different topics and things we kind of threw against the walls about the Ghostbusters. Any final threads you kind of want to make sure we highlight?
Well, first, I think I'm kind of coming out ahead on this week's. I've kind of spiked a thought or two in for you, but no, I think the biggest issue with Ghostbusters as a franchise is that they kind of let it lay fallow for about a generation or two, and now they're trying to play catch up. Because at least with Transformers, the concept sells itself easy enough, which you would think Ghostbusters should do that as well, but they didn't. They didn't have a regular cartoon out to kind of keep it in kids' minds. Like Transformers always kind of had something around. G.I. Joe even kind of had an issue with that as well of its own. But that's sort of the issue, is like they failed to kind of keep it in the public eye outside of, it's Halloween, guys, time for the Ghostbusters screening. I like the franchise. I like the movies. I watched a little bit of the cartoon growing up, but for me, like the one if I'm gonna throw one on, I'm probably just gonna go watch Ghostbusters 2. I like Vigo. I like it's a little silly. The slime, getting to see go a little crazy with some of like the ideas for the ghost, seeing the Titanic come in, the Statue of Liberty. There's some silly concepts, and that's right up my alley.
Yeah, if there was a shark, it'd be complete. I got it. I totally understand. Yeah.
Well, we got Slimer.
All right, guys. What a great show. I appreciate you guys. I feel a little down from this, a little sad. I don't want to feel sad. I want to go watch Ghostbusters original 84 to kind of keep me cheerful. But it is, I thought it was a fun topic to kind of drive around. I'm going to watch 2 before the end of the year, I promise. And I'll tag you in my review so you can kind of see my thoughts on rewatching it for sure. But Loki, what's going on this week? What's going ahead for you this week, man? What's going on?
We've got YouTube talk tomorrow. That's the big thing. Some personal shit I'm going to talk about. We've got Thirsty Thursday. We've got comic book roundtable. I don't know if me and Adega are the stream or not. Adega, guys, if you see Adega around, give him a salute, give him a shout. Let him know how much you appreciate him. He's not doing well. And Fridays, a week in review with Arwen, Dave, Bob, and then the Late Show. So pretty full week. And keep kicking.
It's a busy schedule, my friend. Yeah, busy schedule. Awesome. Ironcaster, what's up for you, man?
Fingers crossed. I'm gonna start getting into doing a little bit of uploading of my own stuff to kind of talk about some of this kind of fun big robot stuff. Outside of doing a show on Mondays for myself for the Mac Pit Chat, where we're gonna go talk about this Transformers news. Talk about hey, what's going on with like this Super Sentai stuff. It's all kind of just a little upbeat stuff. Let's go check out this random old like big robot anime and kind of have some fun there. Friday night I'll be up in a little bit here. I'll be on with T-shirt Historian for our little midweek in geek, where we're I think we might talk a little bit about the Warhammer 40K situation, but maybe not. Friday I'll be on with Nick Weiser for the Friday Night Comic Shop Talk, where we are having on as a special guest the Flip City magazine.
That's awesome, man. Busy schedule. Busy folks. It's good. It's great. Yeah, it's great to see you out there doing that kind of stuff for sure. So, yeah, good week ahead. Next week we'll be doing some Spider-Man 2 talk. This was kind of a film that kind of was a GOAT for a long time. Like, it was among the top 5 favorite superhero movies, pretty much in all circles and conversations. We're on an anniversary year. I thought it'd be kind of fun to revisit it, and kind of how does that hold up with so many other superhero movies now being dropped? Like, does it still hold its rank in the top 5 or 10 or so, and kind of how does everybody feel about it? What's the post Tobey Maguire era made you feel about Spider-Man movies at all? Those kinds of things. So that kind of be our topic next week as we kind of rage on into the summer, getting closer to some fun times with Kai June right around the corner. We'll be back in Shark July. Who knows what will happen during Shark July? We'll see what happens there. And yeah, it's just a great year for content and hanging out and you guys talking some good movies and bad movies and sideways stuff otherwise. So appreciate you guys doing it, man. Been awesome. You guys in chat, you're amazing. I can't thank you enough for all of you guys making this possible. All these members, all your support. Chris Bergia out there hanging out, doing things, taking all this shenanigans in line and keeping it afloat with links and what have you. And Pat, appreciate everything you do as well, man, helping me. So Ironcaster, yeah, man, I think you really brought it this week. I think you really kind of made me think about the Halloween. Is Ghostbusters just a Halloween type movie now, and then its legacy. This is literally one of those IPs that they're trying to like stick an IV in it and try to get it to a new generation, and it is just not working. It's just not working. So with that, I think it's only fair to we'll highlight you as we head out the door. You guys be blessed. Tune into all this guys' content. Make sure you're following what they're going to be doing. Until next week, talk hard. Take care, everybody.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, from the capital city of the United States of America, Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen,